I have given this link to another my Guru Bhai, S.C. Chatterjee. So please admit him. Huh?
He's here, madam. He's here.
Oh, he is already here. Acha, I know.
Namaskar, Chatterjee. Namaskar.
Yeah, namaskar.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Okay. Welcome to all the students of UG and PG of Gangadhar Meher University, Sambalpur, Disa. With this, I also feel privileged to extend my welcome to all the students, scholars, teachers, and senior professors across the country to be connected with this virtual academic program on contemporary Indian philosophy series. Let me extend my welcome to the senior teachers of philosophy, those that are connected with us, Professor Abhinashji, Professor Chatterjee, Indra Madam, and others that I can see the faces on the screen. Let me extend my welcome to Professor Pramod Kumar, the regular speaker of the Saturday webinar series and the host, admin, and convener of Philosophy Family. I feel myself privileged to be connected with him today on a special occasion. Today, we have the topic Man, Reality, and Religion in the Philosophy of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. You know Dr. S. Radhakrishnan is a veteran teacher and professor of philosophy across the globe. Dr. Radhakrishnan established himself as the greatest intellectual of the country. His vast knowledge of ancient India, ancient Indian religion and philosophy, along with the wisdom of the West, created the image of his being as the bridge builder between West and East. You know, he is the only philosopher of the country, of the globe, who could successfully execute his responsibility as a professor, as a vice chancellor, as an ambassador, as a vice president of India, and from the vice president of India to the highest office of India, that is President of India. You know, his philosophy has been very popular in the globe, and he has mastery over the Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy. Today, Professor Pramod Kumar will reflect his philosophy, particularly on the notion of man, reality, and religion. With this, I once again welcome all the viewers to this academic platform, and I request Professor Pramod Kumar to commence his speech, to commence his presentation on man, reality, and religion. Over to Professor Pramod Kumar.
Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, it's audible.
Thank you. Respected all the participants. Dr. Indraji Madam, Dr. Kailas Mahana sir, Abhinav Srivastava sir, and other esteemed participants and my dear students. Today we have a very beautiful topic, that is man, reality, and religion. And tomorrow we shall discuss a very beautiful topic, that is man, reality, and human crisis.
Sorry, Pramod Babu, sound ta टिके बोधे अधिका कले भलो होता मते कोनी सुबुनी.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He will increase the sound.
Okay, now, is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow we shall discuss a very beautiful topic, that is man, reality and human crisis of Jiddu Krishnamurti. I love him, I love his philosophy, and I request all of you to attend this session tomorrow at this time. Today we are going to discuss man, reality and religion according to Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. We all know that as a personality, he had held so many prestigious posts. As Professor Mahana said, that Professor of Philosophy, Vice Chancellor, Ambassador, Vice President, President of India, these are all prestigious posts with which we can identify this great personality. But that was not the real identity of Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. His real identity is that he was a philosopher. But there are so many philosophers. But he is a distinguished philosopher in the sense he is a creative thinker. Creative thinker means a free thinker. So that is the beauty of human personality. You may be a rickshaw puller, you may be a tea seller, but you should have free thinking, free pursuit of truth. From a tea seller, one can become Prime Minister. So the position may change. Time will change everything. But the personality is sanskara. That is the real identity of a human being. And when Radhakrishnan is discussing about the concept of man, he is addressing man as a soul. He is not discussing nature of man. He is addressing man as nature of soul. That man is a soul. Man is a spirit. This is the real identity, not that man can hold different prestigious posts. We are not identified by our forms, different forms. Being a president, being a chief minister, similarly in the social life, being a father, being a husband, being any relation, that is the relation of a form. So the human destiny is to reach the highest possibility. That is, we have to transcend the empirical forms or social forms. Differ any forms created by the society, created by the state, created by our interpersonal relationship, forms created by our imagination, our ignorance. One should be free from all types of forms. That is the free pursuit of freedom. That is the freedom. This is not political freedom. This is free thinking. And that is the real image of man. Therefore, man is addressed as a soul according to Radhakrishnan. What is reality? We shall come to man later on. Because in philosophy, we discuss three things. Very sincerely, we discuss three things. One is the metaphysics. The other is man. And the third one is the world. Man, world, and metaphysics. Metaphysics means the ultimate reality. Three types of reality. One is the physical reality. Beyond that, we can say the cosmic reality. And the highest reality is the ultimate reality. That is unmanifest, that is unexpressed, that is infinite, that is independent, that is indescribable, nirguna. That is the highest state. Similarly, in a human being, there are three types of personalities. We are identified by our physical personality, that I am handsome, she is beautiful, according to the weight of the body, according to the different, according to even social status. Social status is also our physical existence, our education, all these things, our interpersonal relationship. That is our physical existence. And we, human fellow, ignorant fellow, think that this is the highest achievement of human being. This achievement is necessary, but this is the lowest achievement. Beyond that, another identity of our personality, another image of a personality, that is our mind. We all have physical, biological brain, but how that brain functions psychologically, then we call it a mind, which is engaged in rational thinking. So that is another image of a personality. In physical existence, we exist in the physical world, in the objective world. In psychological existence, we live in our psychological world, and we all have that suitable zone. Our physical world is same, but our imaginary world, our psychological world is different from person to person. I live in my, that is called mindset, that is called philosophy, that is called our belief system. So we live in our psychological world. Now the question comes, why man suffers? In which way man suffers more? Man does not suffer from the physical world, from the biological phenomena. Man suffers, but that is not so acute. That is not so hard. That can be cured. But man suffers from his imaginary world, imaginary crisis. Man resists dust and complains that I can see. That we are the creator of our crisis. We imagine so many things, unnecessary things. We imagine about the past, imagine about the future. We create our problem. We live in that world. That is called attachments. That is called asakti. We have attachment for our imaginary thoughts. That was the problem of Arjuna in the battlefield. He was not present in the physical world. He was wondering in his imaginary world that what shall happen after this fight? Who are they? With whom I am going to fight? These are all imaginations, unexpected imaginations. What shall be? What people will say? What society will say? What shall happen tomorrow? So many imaginary thoughts come to us, settle in us, and disturb us. And they occupy our practical life, practical space. And they dominate our practical life. And beyond that, this is the problem of the psychological existence. But that is also necessary, because without mind, we can't think rationally. So for rational thinking, or for psychological evolution, mind is necessary. So we cannot neglect mind. The existence of mind is necessary, but that is not enough. Beyond that, we have another personality that is called spiritual personality. So what is that? That is beyond our biological and psychological existence. There we are not disturbed by the dialectical opposites. If we understand freedom in the true sense, then we enjoy that freedom in this spiritual existence. We do not really enjoy any type of a freedom in the biological existence and psychological existence, which we should, but in fact we don't. We can have that taste of freedom in the spiritual existence, where we transcend both the physical and psychological existence. That means freedom from any type of restraint, any type of constraint, any type of conditioning, any type of trapping, emotional trapping, intellectual trapping, imaginary trapping, and physical trapping. No trapping is there. That is freedom. How is it possible? When one can go to the higher state of consciousness. Sri Aurobindo said that it is the state of Atimanasa, supramental state. Radhakrishnan is saying that it is the spiritual existence of a man. So we can divide these three into two: physical and psychological. That is one, and the other is spiritual. Freedom is attained and freedom is experienced when we transcend our body and mind, our bodily existence and mental existence. Now the question comes, do we renounce this physical and mental existence altogether to attain that peace, to attain that state of freedom? No. We have to attain that eternal peace, that freedom in this physical and psychological existence. This is the goal of life. I am repeating, in the spiritual state of existence, we shall have training. We shall have training of attaining freedom. After getting trained, we have to live freely in our physical and psychological existence. For example, a child can't have spiritual existence. Of course, we see the exceptional cases. Many children, they are very much spiritual by their sanskara from the childhood. Their taste is different. So here we shall go back to the past life, which science will not believe. So generally we can say a common child lives physically. The child needs food. The child needs entertainment. The child needs her mother. Child needs the physical comfort, and the child is happy. When the child is grown up, he or she lives with both body and mind. A sense of ego, sense of admiration, insult, all these things the child can experience. Ego, there is no ego in a newborn child. Ego develops when man means that child starts living psychologically. When he or she will claim I. We have to understand now the child is psychologically sound. It is a good sign. When the child is claiming I am doing this, and he or she is being happy or unhappy, has emotional responses, and he can understand it, that is egocentric, but that is a positive sign, because it is a development, it is an evolution from the physical existence to the psychological existence. Otherwise he can't go to school. Why children go to school after 3 years? Because within 3 years they live physically, biologically. Therefore, after 3 years or 4 years, first they go to play school, then they enter into higher education, right from nursery to university, depending upon their psychic development. Similarly, in Indian philosophy, we have different ashramas. We can say Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. These are also different psychic developments. Brahmacharya is a state, that is we can say that is the state of the childhood, where Brahmacharya means discipline. Brahmacharya means discipline. That we have to follow different types of discipline, physical discipline and psychic discipline in the childhood. If we are physically and psychologically disciplined, then we can preserve and conserve and respect the energy, the physical energy, the vital energy which is available with us by God. That's the God's gift. So Brahmacharya is a psychic training. Because one should control that psychologically. Next to Brahmacharya, we are advised to live a life of Grahastha. So in the life of a Grahastha, we have to consume, we have to spend Brahmacharya in order to have procreation. We have to develop our so that one can become grahastha. But brahmacharya should be maintained by even the married persons. Because brahmacharya means discipline. So a married person should not be wayward, should not misuse his physical and vital energy. So a married person is also advised, because this is the personality. Otherwise we can't go to the level of spirituality. Brahmacharya does not end at the age of 15 or 16. In the grahastha jivana, in the grahastha life also, we have to follow the life of a discipline. How much energy should be spent for the purpose of lokasangraha, for the purpose of our creation, for our generation. But it has also a limit. A time will come, the grahastha jivana will end, and man will enter into the vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is nothing but a time of culturing a sense of withdrawal. Withdrawal means, suppose we lived grahastha life for 60 years. Now it was 50 now. Suppose it is 60 years. Suppose up to 60 years you enjoyed your grahastha jivana, grahastha life. Then you should not be engaged with your grandson and granddaughter. You should not interfere in the life of your son and daughter-in-law. You should be detached from your grahastha jivana. But that detachment, that sannyasa will not come overnight. So from the transition from the attachment to detachment, we need a training period that is called vanaprastha. That means we shall go to forest. It is symbolic. And actually we shall not go to forest. We shall remain in our grahastha life, we shall live that life, but we shall live with a sense of detachment. So from the gradual detachment, we can live a life of complete detachment, that is sannyasa. So this way we can discuss, and it is discussed in the Upanishads, in Indian philosophical systems, how psychic personality is developed gradually. So in a particular state, in a particular existence, we are supposed to behave accordingly. If you are a grahastha, be very much loyal, very much grateful to your family obligations, social obligations. Otherwise, you are an adharmi. If you are a Brahma, if you are a student, you are supposed to preserve brahmacharya discipline, all types of discipline. You should not be involved in such type of affairs of grahastha. That is the family life. A student should be a student. Similarly, a grahastha should hold the responsibility of a family, responsibility of the generation, responsibility of the society. Similarly, in the state of vanaprastha, one should be responsible enough to live a life of detachment. This is the personality of a grandfather. This is called grandfather. This is called grandmother. The grandmother who is quarreling with, who is fighting with her daughter-in-law and interferes in the kitchen, that is the indication that grandmother is not free from her grahastha jivana, even if she belongs to the age of 70 or 80. Sexual attachment is also that. Sexual appetite, it is also an attachment which should be controlled and should be eradicated, should not be with us at a particular time, particular age. That is Vanaprastha. We have to renounce. We have to learn how to renounce. And that we can do gradually, slowly, not overnight. So that transition period is Vanaprastha. That means we shall remain aloof. We shall remain separate. We shall remain detached from the family life. Family life means attachments. From the attachments. We should not play the role of an extra parent of our grandchild. Because the son and the daughter-in-law, they are there. They will take care of their child. As we were taken care of our parents. So please don't interfere. Your interference will not be respected. They don't say you because they respect you. But they think they really avoid you. Don't interfere. Give the key to your daughter-in-law. You take the responsibility of a kitchen. Whatever you will cook, we shall take. This is the attitude of renunciation. This attitude should start from home, from our family. Then that will be reflected in the society. When that will be reflected in society, people will recognize that he is a man of a sannyasa. So first we have to start this spiritual sadhana of Vanaprastha in our family. So this is a human being. This is the human personality. And this is human destiny. The infinite possibility. So man is not as he is understood, as he is introduced, as he is seen. Man has infinite possibilities according to Radhakrishnan. And the purpose of life is to reach that higher state that is called salvation. Salvation is nothing but spirituality. To reach that spiritual state, in the line of Upanishad, we can say the state of sannyasa. To reach that spiritual state is salvation. Salvation is not that after your death, you will get salvation, you will get moksha. There are two theories of liberation. One is Jivana Mukta, the other is Videha Mukta. Videha, disembodied, means without body. You will not take any body. You will be absolutely free from your body. That is Videha, that is the highest goal. Parama Purusartha, Mukhya. But many great philosophers and almost all contemporary Indian philosophers, they give emphasis upon Jivana Mukti. That Jivana Re Mukti, Mukti in life. We have to live in these physical and psychological surroundings, conditionings. We have to accept this society. We have to accept this state. We have to accept all the conditions. We have to accept the nature. We have to accept the natural calamity. We have to accept the struggles of life. But we shall not be affected by it. We shall live freely. This is called Jivana Mukta. That is the state of sannyasa, what we discussed. Sannyasa. Sannyasa means the life of detachment. This is a psychic discipline. Detachment does not mean physically you are detached from your family, physically you are detached from money, physically you are detached from your home, you will go to Himalaya. That is not a physical discipline. Many people misinterpret it that sannyasa means we should have a physical retirement. This is not a physical retirement. This is a psychic discipline to live with physical world, live in the physical world, and live with all physical allurements without being affected like water in the lotus leaf. For the existence of water, lotus leaf is very much necessary because that is the adhara, that is the base. Without that, water cannot exist. But water is detached from the lotus leaf. That is sannyasa. Sannyasa does not mean you reject lotus leaf. Lotus leaf you can't reject. Water cannot reject a container. Lotus leaf is the container. That is the base. That is the support. But water is not attached to the lotus leaf. We cannot leave this world of attachments, but we shall live in this world with a sense of detachment. In Isopanishad, it is called Tena Tektena Bhanjita, that you be attached with everything in a sense of detachment. That means you are not a responsible free person. You take your grandson to the school, you give that service to your family, but don't be over attached to your grandson. That is your attachment. That is not your responsibility. You can advise your son for any financial matter, but don't hold the key of your garage. That I shall control the family. How much you will spend? No, don't interfere. Leave them free. If you leave them free, you can live freely. And they will give you freedom. Otherwise, they will make you the watchman. So the point is, who is a man? What is the real identity of a man? In Vedanta, it is said that Jiva Brahmevana Paraha, I am that Brahman. But contemporary Indian philosophers, they are very much sincere, they are very much practical. Practically, they are discussing about the different phases of a human life, how man is confused with his own identity. That I am this body. Yes, I am this body. My body is necessary. But this is not my total identity. At another point, the same person is claiming, I am this mind, I am my intellect, I am my buddhi, I have so much knowledge, I am knowledgeable, I am a great professor. This is also another bondage. This is not also our real identity. Because these are different forms. These are nothing but attachments. So one should go beyond the attachment of forms, names and forms. And that is called the life of renunciation. That is called the life of sannyasa. And that life is lived in this life. Suppose you live 60 years or 70 years, at least practice this. It is not a, the real identity is not to be a vice president or president of India. Radhakrishnan was very much aware of this. Real identity is that are you a good grahast? If no, then you are not a man at all. Have you followed the discipline of Vanaprastha or the sense of withdrawal? If no, then you are not a man at all. Ultimately, have you become a sannyasi at the age of 60? If no, then you are not a man at all. Better you become a rickshaw puller without being the president of India. But you should be a man. That is the declaration of the Veda, Manur Bhava. Be a human being. That is your real identity. Because from that, there is a scope for spiritual upliftment. From that, there is a scope for psychological evolution, transformation. So if we understand education by any means, then this is the real education. Savidya Jamimukte. The education is that which leads to transformation. My being, my existence shall be transformed from the imperfection to perfection. From the finite aspect of life to the infinite aspect of life. So out of these two types of liberation, Jivana Mukti and Videha Mukti, Radhakrishnan does not believe in Videha Mukti, does not give any importance at all. Rather he says that don't seek for that. That is also an attachment. That is a selfish attachment. That I shall be liberated. On the other hand, Radhakrishnan is claiming Sarva Mukti. Very famous concept of Radhakrishnan, that is Sarva Mukti. If you have first you attain Jivana Mukti, after attaining Jivana Mukti, don't aspire for Videha Mukti. That is suicidal. That means you are gone. Don't go. Don't leave this world. Attain Jivana Mukti and help others for attaining Jivana Mukti. Don't be selfish. That I shall attain Videha Mukti, which is imaginary. You can't experience Videha Mukti. Nobody has experienced it. It is merely philosophy. It is literature. It is belief. It is imagination. But we can experience Jivana Mukti. We can experience Tenatektana Bhanjita. We can experience how I am liberated. Liberated means how I am free. Liberation means freedom. And your highest contribution to the society is to make others free. Therefore, great seers, after attaining enlightenment, they return to the empirical world and they establish different matha and ashrama and they try to give spiritual education to the common people, and their aim is to make others free from bondage, to attain freedom. This is the real goal of human life. Goal of life is not salvation. Goal of life is, after getting salvation, you make your society free from bondage. Make others free. You become the real. If Radhakrishnan is the ambassador, This is the real meaning of ambassador. You become the ambassador of salvation. You become the ambassador of salvation. That yes, I am the ambassador of salvation. I am free. I have a free thought. And my responsibility is to make you and you all free from bondage. This is human personality and this is human destiny. Where from Radhakrishnan brought this conclusion, this type of idea about man? From metaphysics. That is reality. In reality also, there are three phases. As there are three phases in every human being that we can experience. We are discussing man because man can understand man. We can experience our own existence, our changes, our difficulties. Therefore, man is discussed by man. But who is a great philosopher? Where from he received such ideas? From the metaphysics. That outside man or including man in nature, if we shall interpret reality, it has also three aspects. One is the physical aspect, the physical world that we see. The world that we all see, that is the physical world. The next step is the cosmic world. Cosmic world means the total manifestation. What we see and what we can't physically see, but it is there. That is the cosmos. That is the cosmic world. And beyond that, there is the unmanifest, the absolute. That cannot be called cosmic. It is beyond cosmos. It is unmanifest. It is nirguna. It is nirakara. It is unmanifest. It is absolute. It is Brahman. In Upanishad it is called Brahman. Radhakrishnan does not say it is Brahman. Radhakrishnan says it is God. Very interesting thing. Here there are two words, Brahman and God. Radhakrishnan is giving importance to the word God. For Radhakrishnan, God has two aspects. One is the absolute aspect. In that sense, God is Brahman. And the other is the cosmic aspect. In that sense, God is called God. Or Ishvara. Brahman and Ishvara. So, he is using the word God, not Brahman. The ultimate reality is God. And that God has two aspects. One is the absolute aspect. That absolute aspect is Brahman. It's called Brahman. And that God is called Brahman. In Vedanta, or especially in Sankara Advaita Vedanta, God is false. Jagat is false. Only one thing is real, that is Brahman. God is the creator of Maya, Jagat Mithya. All these things are not accepted by contemporary Indian philosophers, not only Radhakrishnan, but all. All contemporary Indian philosophers, they don't believe in this type of metaphysics. They never say that this world is mithya. The world is very much real. It is the manifestation of that divinity. But beyond that manifestation, there is an unmanifest state of a God that is called Brahman. So Brahman is the unmanifest state or the ultimate state or the absolute state of a God. And when God is expressed through cosmos, the cosmic world, That is called a Ishvara. That is called Ishvara. So this Jagat is not mithya. This Jagat is very much real because it is another aspect of God. This is the aspect of manifestation and that is the aspect of unmanifest. We cannot sacrifice this world of manifestation, at the cost of the absolute Brahman. As we discussed, we cannot be a sannyasi by renouncing this world. That is not a true personality of any human being. Similarly, at the cost of the absolute reality, that is Brahman, we cannot ignore the divine glory of the manifestation. That means both the unmanifest and the manifest are the same God. God is called Brahman in the unmanifested as the total cause, as the infinite cause, as the uncaused cause, which is indescribable, which is beyond logic, which is beyond language, which is beyond rationality, which is beyond mind. That is one state. But the cosmos, which is understood, which is experienced, where we live in, that is also another aspect of a God. So Jagat is not mithya. This is the metaphysics. So as the metaphysics, so is the human ethics. If our metaphysics is materialism, then our ethics will be materialism. That hedonism, that pleasure is the ultimate value of life. Enjoyment, possession. If spiritualism is our metaphysics, that we believe that there is an ultimate reality, then detachment is the ethics. Sannyasa is the ethics. Isavasyam idam sarvam. That means that Isa, that God, in Upanishad also it is called Isa, not Brahman. Isavasyam idam sarvam. Isa means God. Isa, that Isa, Isavasyam idam sarvam. That means everywhere, even the smaller than the smallest, in that thing, that Isa is present. This is the metaphysics. One has to understand. That Isa is visible, is experienceable, is thinkable, and that Isa is also achintya, avyakta, abandanya, nirakara. So that Isa is both formless and manifested in different forms. So three states. One is the state of experience, our empirical experience, the world that we objectively see, experience, but that is a limited world because our perception has its limits. We cannot perceive everything. And the other aspect is the cosmic aspect, that is the total manifestation. And beyond the manifestation, there is a state of unmanifest, absolute Brahman. So this is the metaphysics, and from this metaphysics, we can discuss three types of human personality, three types of psychological development. Sri Aurobindo has discussed so many developments of mind. That's the ordinary mind, higher mind, overmind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, overmind, and supermind. Then Sachidananda. That means contemporary Indian philosophers, they are very much sincere in articulating, in discussing, in thinking about the different phases of different levels of consciousness. And as the level of your consciousness, so is your world view, so is your philosophy of reality. Why that man suffers? That man, because the world is the same. The world is the same, but the interpretations are different. As you interpret your situation, as you interpret your world, so you suffer. If your interpretation is egocentric, if your interpretation is based upon your dogmatic assumptions or convictions, then you will suffer from that. If your interpretation is Isavasyam idam sarvam, then you will not suffer from the same world. But the world is same. So whether a man will be attached or detached, that is a psychic state. That is a mindset. So one should transform himself from the state of attachment to the state of detachment. And the state of detachment is not a state of inactivity, rather it is a state of activity. Then we shall discuss religion. What is religion according to Radhakrishnan, and why it is necessary? And what should be the role of religion? What is the purpose of religion? What we actually experience? We actually experience that different religions, they are engaged in propagating their own religious systems and religious beliefs. As if God is satisfied by a particular religion. This is dogmatic approach to religion. As if Jagannath wants that he should have a temple and he should be worshipped, and if he is worshipped in this way and other people are debarred from his darsana, then he is happy. Jagannath is happy. This is not the real meaning of Jagannath. Jagannath means he is the Natha of Jagat. He is the Natha of the all human community. This is the real meaning of Jagat. You human fellow, how can you accommodate God in a particular temple, in a particular space and time? This is not religion. This we may call an institutional religion. Here the religion is institutional. And this religion divides. This religion does not unite. We are divided by our religion, as we are divided by our caste, which is also an illusion. Similarly, we are divided by different religions. It is also an illusion. If man is called soul, Radhakrishnan addresses man as a soul. That soul is indivisible. We can't divide soul. We can't divide consciousness. So in the infinite possibility, we are all one. So man cannot be divided by any means, by caste, by religion, by creed, by color, by society. We cannot be divided. But for the practical purpose, man should need an institutional religion for the practical purpose. Yes, I have my personal belief. I want that is also a type of emotion. I have some emotional attachment to a particular deity, and therefore I love Lord Jagannath, or I love Lord Shiva, or I love Lord Ganesh. This is a personal issue. This is not universal, because the person who is an atheist, he is not with me. And the person who belongs to another religion, he is not with me. So this is not the real identity. Our religion is not our identity. This is a very misconception. Our religion is not our identity. Therefore, Radhakrishnan is giving importance upon religious experience. Radhakrishnan is giving emphasis upon each and every human being should have religious experience. You be a Christian, but you should have a religious experience. You may be a Muslim, but you should have a religious experience. You may be a Hindu, but you should have a religious experience. And that experience is different from the ordinary experience, the empirical experience, the sense experience, intellectual understanding. This is not that experience. It is intuitive experience. Radhakrishnan says religious experience is intuitive experience. It is an extraordinary experience. Sri Aurobindo says it is Atimanasa. It is supramental consciousness. It is supramental. It is different type of consciousness. And Vivekananda said it is universal religion. Religion is not personal. Religion must be universal. The universality in different religion is this, that we should have a religious attitude. Religious attitude is the attitude of unity in diversity. Religious attitude is the attitude of spirituality. As we are discussing, that man should transform from his biological and psychological state of existence to the spiritual state of existence. And in that spiritual state of existence, man will have spiritual experience. That is religious experience. Each and every human being should have a religious experience, and that is our identity. These are all symbolic. Bahana. Hinduism, it is a medium. It is a medium. Yes, I am happy that I am a Hindu, but that is not my total identity. The total identity is that I am a man. At least I am a man. Then the highest identity is I am that pure consciousness. Forget that. If you come to the lower ladder, at least you identify yourself as a man, not as a Hindu. If you are a man, then you are with then the whole globe is your family. Vasundhaiva Kutumbakam. You can say, because you are a man. Beyond that, you can claim that you are a being. When you say you are a being, then the dog is your friend, the elephant is your friend, the plant is your friend. If you say you are a man, even you are different from animals and plants. So go beyond that. Religious experience means the highest experience, the experience of harmony. And if we say it is a mystical experience, Radhakrishnan is saying there is nothing wrong in it. Mystical experience does not mean it is dogmatic experience or it is something hypnotizing experience. No, it is not that. It is that highest experience. Mystical experience means which cannot be possible through this empirical experience, through our sense organs. Mystical experience is that experience which can be possible going beyond the instrument of our sense organs and mind. That is intuitive experience. How is it possible? How that experience is possible? Again, we shall go to the metaphysics. What is the metaphysics? There is this cosmos is a cosmos. This is not a chaos. Chaos means disorder. Cosmos means order. That means we don't have any access, any control over the management of the cosmos. We can't control the solar system. We can't control the climatic change. We can't control anything. We can't control the growth of a plant. Many things that happen in our body, we can't control. We are mere observers. A doctor cannot make your blood circulate because it is a divine activity. Many things are there. A doctor can take care of it, can regulate it, can create it. So the nature is not created by man. Man is a part of nature. But that nature is a systematic nature. It is a cosmos. There is an order. There is a cosmic order. So this teleological status is given by contemporary Indian philosophers, including Radhakrishnan. This is the metaphysics. The metaphysics is that nothing is accidental in nature. There is a discipline, there is a order, there is a rhythm in everything. What happened to the case of Rahul, who was rescued by our NDR team? He was there underground with a snake, with a frog. He survived there 4 days without food. Without food means that liquid food was not sufficient. In darkness he was surviving. That means underground we can expect the order. The cosmic order is there, where different animals can live together with a beautiful harmony. It is expected. Because nature has harmony, because nature is discipline, we can expect discipline in science. The discipline in science is there because there is discipline in cosmos. That is called Rita in Upanishad. That is called Rita in Upanishad. And Radhakrishnan is saying that is the cosmic order. That is the teleology, that is the purpose. That means we are living in such a world which is very systematic, which is very disciplined. So we should learn that discipline from Mother Nature. From the Mother Nature. Therefore today we have a very beautiful science that is called ecofeminism. Ecofeminism means the nature is compared with a lady, a woman, like a mother, who is very compassionate, who is very loving. Nature is so loving. Nature is so coordinated. Nature is so kind. And nature is so disciplined. There is an inherent discipline, intrinsic discipline in nature. It is not externally imposed. So this is the metaphysics. From that metaphysics, we can apply that metaphysics in religion. Similarly, in every religion, there should be a order. There should be an order. Universal order. Then what is the purpose of religion? The purpose of religion is only to develop human personality. We discussed that there are different types of human personality. Man transforms from lower to higher. Then who will take this responsibility? Religion will take the responsibility. Religion is not a center of dogmatism. Religion is not a center of worshipping deities. Religion is not a center for different festivals. These are necessary for your society. These are necessary for your personal amusement. But that is not the real purpose of religion. Religion is necessary as a bona fide institution to educate you, to transform you from lower to higher, to establish yourself to the infinite possibilities. That is the purpose of religion. If your religion makes you dogmatic, if your religion creates animosity, hatred in your psyche, then that religion is the greatest enemy. Rather be an atheist. Therefore, atheists are good. If you are not a rational, if you are not a good theist, better you become an atheist. Why we say so? Because we forget the real purpose of religion. So religion, you can claim that you are a man of religion through the qualification of having religious experience. So in one sentence we can say, be religious by attitude. Be religious. Be religious means be spiritual. Be spiritual means go beyond your sense experience and intellectual activities. They are necessary. Sense experience is necessary. Sense organs are necessary. This body is necessary. This mind is necessary. My intelligence is necessary. But beyond that, we have to culture sense of detachment, the sense of freedom, the sense of infinite bliss. And that is salvation. That is called salvation. That is called Jivana Mukti. And that is the ultimate goal of life. So the purpose of religion is not to divide you into different communities, different sects. No, this is not the purpose of religion. The purpose of religion is to make you realize the unity in diversity. The purpose of religion is to transform you to become a highest personality. That is the purpose of religion. If this is not the purpose of religion, don't accept any religion. Rather become an atheist. It is not proper to say that an atheist is not a spiritualist. Without believing in God, one can become a spiritualist. For example, Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha does not believe in God. Even Lord Buddha does not believe in a soul. Lord Buddha does not believe in a mind. He does not believe in any substance. But he was a great spiritualist personality. His personality was reached that level because he had developed the sense of vairagya, the sense of nirvana, the sense of detachment. And that is the highest goal of life. And that is salvation. That is nirvana. Don't have any unnecessary attachments. Try to control to groom, try to control to groom your lower propensities. So this is the purpose of religion. So be religious by attitude, and that should be reflected in your jnana, karma, and bhakti. Your knowledge should be like that, your karma should be like that, and your emotion should be like that. You should not be divided in jnana. You should not be divided in karma. No karma is small and big. This is a division. If you are really a spiritual person, if you are really a religious person, you cannot judge that this karma is a small karma and that karma is a big karma. If you have that psyche, then you will never go with the caste division. That the karma of a Sudra is lower and the karma of a Brahmin is higher. Because there is no division in spirituality. So every karma is duty, karma is yajna, karma is duty, karma is my personality. So in karma, There is no small and big. Every karma is a duty. So this is religious activity in karma. Similarly, in knowledge, don't be biased by the manifested world. Don't be biased by this manifested world is the manifestation of the divinity. So accept this divine glory as the divine glory. Don't be attached, because you will take nothing after your death. You had not brought anything, and you shall not take anything. So why should you possess? So you should have that wisdom of detachment. That is the knowledge. And in emotion also, in bhakti, you shouldn't have any partiality. You should not have unnecessary attachment. Attachment is emotion. Unnecessary attachment, partial attachment. That is called moho. Infatuation. That is called infatuation. You saw something, then you got attached. Then you try to possess it. That this is mine. It was not with you yesterday. Today you saw it, and tomorrow you possess it. This is attachment. This is clinging. So this is not religious attitude. In religious attitude, in religious experience, one should have a transcendental experience where everything is united, everything is harmonious. And that is the purpose of religion. So religion, every person should have a religious experience. William James, being a Western thinker, he has very beautifully said that varieties of experience. In the book, he has written varieties of experience. In that book, he is saying that experiences are different. We human beings have different types of experience, and we should not confuse one experience with another experience. Our sense experience, our cosmic experience, and our divine experience or religious experience, all these experiences have their own function. They are practical. They have their own norms. So one experience should not be confused with another experience. Similarly, according to Radhakrishnan, beyond empirical experience, beyond sense experience, we should have the mystic experience, the mystical experience, the religious experience, the transcendental experience, where we can live a life of harmony, a life of peace, a life of salvation. So this is briefly the philosophy of Radhakrishnan about man, human personality, human destiny, Sarva Mukti, Jivana Mukti, then how God is absolute Brahman and God is Ishvara, how God is unmanifest and God is manifest, and similarly institutional religion, how institutional religion is different from the universal religion, how empirical experience is different from religious experience, how a finite aspect of man is different from the infinite aspect of man, and what is the real purpose of a religion, and what is the purpose of religion, what is the role of religion, what should be the role of religion, and what is called a religious man. A religious man is he who has religious experience and who has religious activity. That religious activity is the spiritual consciousness, the spiritual activity. With this, I conclude here. Over to Maharana sir for synopsizing what I said, so that it will be understood by others. If I fail to convince, then it can be convinced by Dr. Maharana. Over to Manas.
Okay, thanks, Professor Das, for a beautiful exposition on the three concepts that is man, the reality, and religion. And it's also a difficult part for me to synopsize what you have said. But I have pointed some of the um, things that you have discussed. And I do not dare to reflect upon all the things that you have told. Right? Okay, Professor Das, at first uh, you have very beautifully said that how man is a creative thinker. Man's in the notion of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, man is taken as soul, man is taken as a spirit, and man is taken as a creative thinker, free thinker for the free pursuit of truth that is taken. And you have very beautifully explained metaphysics, man and world. You have given the analysis of the three concepts, the three notions, metaphysics, man and world. And we have said how the Vanaprastha, how the Vanaprastha life helps us to live a very disciplined life. I don't want to explore all the things that you have told. And taking the view of Radhakrishnan, you have said that Radhakrishnan has a deep relation of the present state of man. It's a state of sannyasa, it's a state of freedom. You have said how it is said in Vedanta that be a human being, monodbhava. That is, Radhakrishnan wanted to explore the real nature of man. The real identity of man is Jivan Mukta. You have discussed, and you wanted the Radhakrishnan's view was to make that is everybody should realize this freedom to make himself free and to make others free. And you have taken that Radhakrishnan view is of twofold, that final aspect, finite aspect of man and infinite aspect of man. And Radhakrishnan wants to view the finite aspect to infinite aspect of man. So you have discussed now that how man wants to be free and man wants to make others free. The finite aspect of man is determined by the empirical condition or the biological condition. You have said, but it is not its final nature. You said that empirical condition or empirical being or the biological conditioner is not the final nature of man. Man has infinite aspect. It is man's that is infinite aspect is said to be the real nature of man, the final nature of man. It is man's hidden capacity, infinite aspect, and it is beyond all the physical limitations. It is the self-transcendence itself. It is the spirit in man, and it is higher than empirical. This infinite aspect is spirituality. It is the ultimate reality. And he said, it is Isa, Ishavasham idam sarvam. It is Isa in man. It is the transcendental aspect in man. It is formless, and it is also this. It is also reflected in different forms of the empirical existence. Radhakrishnan calls it as self-conscious man. Radhakrishnan calls man the self-conscious man. This capacity enables him to organize his moves and to bring about a spiritual growth. So this is the real nature. This is the true nature of man. And you said it is the divine man. So the infinite aspect is the divine aspect man. The divine man, in it, the infinite possibility is seen. The infinite possibility is reflected, and And when we have to discuss that religion, as you have said, that everybody needs an institutional religion. You also affirmed it that you have also taken an institutional religion, and everybody needs institutional religion for his or her practical purpose. And Radhakrishnan said, religion is not our identity. You have said again and again that this religion is not our identity. The institutional religion is not a real identity. Everybody should have religious experience. So it is different from ordinary experience. Radhakrishnan said that it is intuitive experience. We have told that is everybody must have the religious experience, and you added the religious activity. So religious activity and the religious experience can truly give us the intuitive experience. That is the identity of man, the true identity of man. This aim of religion is the identification with the current flow of life. It is the order of life. You said it is a teleological, it is a purposive. Religion teaches this order of life, this beauty of life, the order of existence, the order of cosmic existence. And religion teaches the harmony of life, the beauty of life. So very briefly, you have discussed all the things. And in the words of Radhakrishnan, you said that the purpose of religion is to evolve human life, it to participate in the creative advance of life. In this way, religion is not dogmatic. You very clearly said that in this way, religion is not dogmatic. Rather, religion is reflective. Religion is creative. So you said, be religious. It means be spiritual. Be spiritual means that is the upliftment of man, that is from the ordinary life to the higher life. So religion is a very dynamic process, as you have said. It is not something passive. So it is a dynamic process. It is a dynamic process. It brings about, it brings about the peaceful existence in this earth. Peaceful existence within ourselves and peaceful existence that is in the whole world. And you have said that religion teaches us to do right karma, to accept the divine glory of detachment. It is transcendental. It is a transcendental experience. You said it is also mystical experience. And transcendental experience and mystical experience can lead to the life of salvation. And the life of salvation is possible because of the religious activity plus religious experience. So thanks so much, Professor Pramod Kumar Das, for beautifully explaining the philosophy of Radhakrishnan within a short span of time. I have not spoken what you have entirely said. So I have just pointed out some of your points. I have also missed some points. Okay. Thanks so much, Professor Pramod Kumar Das. And we can also invite queries and observations from the other speaker, from other Lord and audience. That is okay from the screen. Over to Pramod sir.
Yes, yes, sir. There is a question from Smritirekha Swami. She wants to know that if we transcend from physical and psychological states and we go beyond that, then is that state another state of bondage or trapping, another state of attachment? Is it not psychological again? This is her question. So when we transcend our psychic state, that state is not psychological. Aurobindo says that is supramental state. It is not mental, it is supramental state. And Radhakrishnan says it is the spiritual state. So beyond the physical and the mental, when we transcend these two states, the higher state is spiritual. Spiritual is not psychological. In psychology, what happens? We take the help of logic. We believe in arguments. We satisfy ourselves with the logical dialectics. But beyond the logical dialectics, beyond the sense organs, we can have our intuitive experience, and that is spirituality. So that state is not psychological trapping. We are free from that. Okay. For example, suppose I am giving an example. You have attachment for your husband as a wife. You have attachment for your son as a mother. You have attachment for your mother as a daughter. This attachment is psychological, and that is necessary. Because as a human being, you should have such emotions. But at a point, you should understand, you should come back to yourself, and you should think that no, I am socially related or personally related to these persons as a wife or mother or daughter. These are my terms. But I am not a mother, I am not a sister, I am not a wife, I am that formless. This experience is not a psychological experience. This is a spiritual experience. Once you have this experience, you are a different type of personality. Your personality is different. Okay? So that is the goal of life. That is the goal of education. Education does not mean just qualify MA or MPhil or PhD and get a service of get any service. No, that is not education. Education means your outlook should be changed. Your worldview should be changed. Once this worldview, your mindset is changed, you become a different personality. So this is the answer to your question. And she has asked another question. If someone truly attends Jivanmukti, then he should not have any attachment. If also the knowledge about attachment, then why after Jivanmukti we said that Vidyamukti is self-attachment? In the state of Jivanmukti, one is not out of any attachment. Understand it. In the state of Jivanmukti, one is not out of any attachment. One will not leave this world and go to Himalaya. This is not renunciation. In Jivanmukti, one should know the art of attachment. Art means kausala. Art of attachment. Technique of being attached. That is, what is that technique? That technique is tena bhanjita. That means I shall be attached with the sense of a vairagya. So attachment is not rejected. Your friend is attached. You are attached. But she is suffering. You are not suffering. Because you are a philosopher. You know the art of attachment. You know how to be attached, how much to be attached, when to be attached, and when to withdraw yourself. So here attachment becomes a duty. Your attachment to your husband is a duty. You take it as a duty. You don't hang over it. Your attachment should not become your kamana should not become your vasana. Your attachment should not become your sickness. Don't be a sick person. Don't suffer from your attachment. So So knowing the art of attachment is Jivana Mukti. Jivana Mukti does not mean that you shall have no attachment, no responsibility, no assignment, no world, no. Okay, thank you.
So Smriti Lekha has also another question.
She always asks.
Smriti Lekha has so many questions. Smriti Lekha, where are you now?
I should always say
In which college you are posted now? Okay, promotion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, promotion.
I am reading her question.
In which college has Smriti Lekha is now?
Smriti Lekha in Khurda.
In which college? Smriti Lekha?
Sir, Ravenshaw University.
Oh, so she is a student.
Oh, you are a student or lecturer?
Yes, sir, I am a student. PG second year student from Ravenshaw University.
Oh, PG second year. Oh, I think you are posted in college.
You are talking about Smriti Mai.
Oh, Smriti Moy. Okay, Smriti Moy. Okay.
Oh, she is in Khurda.
Oh, thanks so much.
The last question, why should we always say that there is a spirituality? Why we should not say that by just doing discipline, I am just doing discipline. Yes, spirituality, we use the word spirituality in order to understand the distinction between empiricality, our sense experience, and religious experience. In order to understand this distinction, we are using the word spirituality. That it is something, it is a higher experience which transcends our lower experiences. Lower experience means our sense experience and our intelligence. So beyond sense experience and logic, language, there is spiritual experience. Therefore, we are using the word spirituality. Spirituality means all-inclusive. Okay, that is the all-inclusive experience, the complete experience, the total experience, the transcending experience, transcendental experience. Okay, Sravani madam will say something. She has written. Sravani madam, you can speak directly.
Sir, namaskar.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, actually what I have learned from your presentation that every time not always it can be possible, but we have to think beyond our psychological level, by which we can transcend to spirituality. Is it okay, sir? From psychological level to spiritual level, we have to think in our life.
Yes, ma'am. It is very difficult, but it is possible, and it is
Sir.
not. It is not only possible. It is
Sir,
the only goal of life. If this is not the goal of your life, then
Sir,
you are living just like a dog or cat.
Sir.
Because they just eat, give birth to their kids and
Sir.
die.
Sir.
Eating, giving birth to child and
Sir.
getting old and dying. This is not the human evolution. Human evolution means be a better version day to day. What you were yesterday, you should have your better version today.
Sir.
Otherwise, you will not be respected
Sir.
by your children, by your friends, by society. You will be just recognized as an ordinary man.
Sir.
पुरुषରୁ ମହାପୁରୁଷ ହବା
Sir.
It was the goal of life. Yeah.
Sir. Sir, so many teachings in this presentation. Sir. Thank you very much, sir. You are obliged, sir.
Tomorrow we shall discuss Jiddu Krishnamurti. His
Sir.
philosophy is very high.
Yeah.
Sir.
Oh, Pramod sir.
Yes, sir.
Smriti Rekha has told that you have left my questions. One of the questions.
Yes. Which
Okay.
question?
Regarding the question regarding Buddha or something like that.
Oh, last
Yes,
question. Yes, I am reading. One question. I don't find it. Smriti Rekha, you can ask directly.
Smriti Rekha, please read out your question. Please read out the question.
Sir, why Buddha does not believe in mind and any other substance?
Because Buddha does not believe in any substantial status. According to mind is an example. Buddha says everything is flux, everything is subject to change. We should not go beyond our flow of perception, because that is only available to us. Whatever we speak beyond that, that is our philosophy, that is our imagination, so we should remain silent. So Buddha is silent about any type of substantial structure. So mental activity, Buddha admits mental activity, but Buddha does not admit a substantial status of a mind. Even scientists also don't accept mind; they accept brain. For them, that is only a biological brain. Okay, scientists also do not believe in mind. Even psychiatrists, those who study psychology, they also take that instrument as a sophisticated brain. Okay, when they are giving medicine to the brain, not to the mind. So mind is an abstract concept. It is discussed as the level of consciousness according to many great philosophers, including Sri Aurobindo, Radhakrishnan, Vivekananda, and in Upanishad it is discussed that mind is nothing but a level of consciousness, and there are different types of minds. We all have biological brain, but we all have different types of minds. Therefore, our understandings are different. Therefore, our realization is different. Therefore, we live in different subjective worlds. Your subjective world is different from my subjective world. Therefore, your suffering is different from my suffering. The object that gives pain to you, that object gives pleasure to me. So we live in such a relative world because we encounter this relative world by our subjective minds. Okay, but Buddha does not admit this. Buddha says this is nonsense. You don't accept any substantial status by your own philosophical expertise. You just claim what you perceive or what you can perceive. You can experience. What you experience only mental activities. So you speak this much. You are perceiving the flow of water in the river. Don't call it as a river, because river means the total river nobody has seen. So don't take the flow as the substance. This is the view of Gautam Buddha in East, and this is the view of David Hume in the West. Thank you. Now over to Kailash sir to conclude.
Sir, sir, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ question ଥିଲା ମାନେ
Another
go
question. Okay.
Kah.
sir ଯୋଉ ଆମର କୁହାହଉଛି କି ଆମେ କିଛି ବି ହବାନି, we are not taking
ବଡ
anything
ପାଟିରେ କହ।
after our death. Sir, we are not taking anything after our death. ତ ମୋର ଏଠି question କି ଆମେ ଯୋଉ liberation ପାଉଛେ ବି ଆମେ ତାପରେ ବି ତ କିଛି ନେଇକି ଯାଉନେ ନା, ତ difference କଣ ରହୁଛି ଆ ଭିତରେ?
କଣ ହେଇଛି ବଡ ପାଟିରେ କୁହ।
ସାର୍ ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହୁଛେ କି ଆମେ କିଛି ଡେଥ୍ ପରେ ଆମେ କିଛି ବି ନେଇକି ଯାଉନେ, ସେମିତି କି ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଲିବରେସନ କଥା କହୁଛେ କି ସାଲଭେସନ କଥା କହୁଛେ, ତ ତାପରେ ବି ତ ଆମେ କିଛି ନେଇକି ଯାଉନେ, ତ ଆମେ କଣ ପାଇଁ କି ସବୁବେଳେ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବା?
ଆମେ କାହିଁ ଭଲ ମଣିଷ ହବା?
ହଁ
ଯଦି କିଛି ନେଇକିରି ଯାଉନେ,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତାହେଲେ
ସାର୍।
ଚୋର ଖଣ୍ଟ ହେଇକିରି ମରିଗଲେ ବି କଣ କ୍ଷତି ହେଇଯାଉଛି?
ସାର୍ ସେମିତି ବି ନ
ଏଇଟା
ହେଇକି ଭଲ ଲୋକ ବି
ହଁ
ହେଇଥିବା।
ହଁ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ କୁହାଯାଉଛି ଯେ ଅଧିକା ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିବାଟା ଗୋଟେ ବଡ କଥା ନୁହଁ। ବିବେକାନନ୍ଦ ବହୁତ କମ ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ଶଙ୍କରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ମଧ୍ୟ ବହୁତ କମ ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିଥିଲେ। ବହୁତ ବଡ ବଡ ମୁନି ଋଷି ମାନେ, ମହାପୁରୁଷ ମାନେ, ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ କମ ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିଛନ୍ତି। ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ନାଇଁ? ଫୁଲଟିଏ କେତେ ଫୁଲ ଅଛି, ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ କମ ସମୟ ପାଇଁ ଜଗତକୁ ଆସନ୍ତି, ତାପରେ ମଉଳି ଯାଆନ୍ତି, ହଜି ଯାଆନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଭଲ ଫୁଲଟିଏ ହୁଅ, ଯେତିକି ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚୁଛ ମଣିଷ ପରି ବଞ୍ଚ। ମଣିଷ ପରି ବଞ୍ଚିବାର ଅର୍ଥ ହେଲା ମଣିଷ ହଉଛି ଏକମାତ୍ର ପ୍ରାଣୀ ଯିଏ ଅନ୍ୟ ପାଇଁ କନସିୟସଲି କିଛି କରିପାରେ। କନସିୟସଲି ଆନିମଲ୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କ ଦ୍ଵାରା କରାଯାଏ। ବଳଦକୁ ନେଇକରି ଚାଷ କରାଯାଏ, ଆନିମଲ୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ୟୁଜ କରାଯାଏ। ଘରେ ଆମେ କୁକୁର ରଖିକିରି ଖୁସି ହଉ, ସେମାନେ ସବୁ ଆମ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏଇ ପ୍ରକାର ଏଣ୍ଟରଟେନମେଣ୍ଟ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି। ଏବଂ କିନ୍ତୁ ମଣିଷ ହଉଛି ଏକମାତ୍ର ପ୍ରାଣୀ ଯିଏ ନିଜକୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରିପାରେ, ନିଜର ଖୁସିକୁ ତ୍ୟାଗ କରିପାରେ ଏବଂ ସୋସାଇଟି ପାଇଁ କିଛି କରିପାରେ। ଆମେ କାଲିକି କିଏ ବଞ୍ଚିବା ମରିବା ଆମେ ଜାଣିନେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଜି ରାତିଟା ଆମର ଶେଷ ରାତି ହେଇପାରେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ତାହା ଗୋଟେ ସଫଳ ରାତି ହଉ, ଗୋଟେ ତ୍ୟାଗର ରାତି ହଉ, ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ପାଇବାର ରାତି ହଉ, ସେ ରାତିଟା ଗୋଟେ ବିଷାକ୍ତ, ଗୋଟେ ଅଭିଶପ୍ତ ରାତି ନ ହଉ। ଠିକ ସେହିପରି ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତଟା ଗୋଟେ ଡିଭାଇନ ମୋମେଣ୍ଟ ହଉ। ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଭଲ କଥା ଆମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରିବା, କାହାର କ୍ଷତି ନ କରିକିରି ଯଦି ପାରିବା କାହାର ଟିକେ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବା। ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ମ୍ୟାନ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆନିମଲ୍। କିଛି ନବା ବଡ କଥା ନୁହଁ। ଆମେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଖରାପ ଜିନିଷ ନେଇକି ଯାଉନେ, ତେବେ କିଛି ଭଲ ଜିନିଷ ନେଇକି ଯିବା ବି ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। କାରଣ ଭଲ ଜିନିଷ ନବାର ଇଚ୍ଛାଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୋଟେ ଆଟାଚମେଣ୍ଟ। If you are doing a good work, kindly forget it. Don't remember it. Then that work will be called ଯଜ୍ଞ। କର୍ମକୁ ଯଜ୍ଞ ହିସାବରେ ଭାବିକିରି ତମେ ଜୀବନଟାକୁ ବଞ୍ଚି ଯାଅ। ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଜୀବନକୁ ଦାନ କରି କିଛି କମ୍ପ୍ଲେନ କରନି, ଏଇଟା ହେଲାନି ସେଇଟା ହେଲାନି, ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଗଲା ପରେ କଣ ନେଇକିରି ଯିବି ଯେ ଏତେ ଭଲ ମଣିଷ ହେବି? नो। ଯେତିକି ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିଛ ସେତିକି ଦିନ ଭଲ ଭାବରେ ବଞ୍ଚ, ମଣିଷ ଭାବରେ ବଞ୍ଚ। ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ବେଦରେ କୁହାଗଲା ମନୁର୍ଭବ। ବେଦରେ କୁହାଗଲାନି ପ୍ରଫେସର ଭବ, ବେଦରେ କୁହାଗଲାନି ଡକ୍ଟର ଭବ। ତମେ ଯାହା ହଉଛ ହୁଅ, ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ମଣିଷଟିଏ ହୁଅ। This is the message of Upanishad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks so much, Smriti Rekha, and thanks so much, Pramod sir. Actually, today I have the privilege to be with you, to be connected with this series of contemporary Indian philosophy. And when I listen the entire talk, I feel that you have gone to the level of students to make every concept very clear and very simple before the students. And I must express my cordial gratitude to you, Pramod sir, the way you have explained the three concepts, reality, man, and religion, by going into the level of students, and you have made very simple. You have also taken simple examples to that is to reach at the level of the students. So I must, I find no words. Only I find that it is my gratitude to you. That is on behalf of the viewers, and I must offer my thanks to Smriti Rekha Nayak and Sabani ma'am for their beautiful questions. And that is questioning is also not. So we can see that in every webinar, Smriti Rekha and Sabani madam, they are putting so many questions, and questioning reflects their understanding of the philosophy, understanding the concept, and they are going into the deepest level of the subject matter in order to understand them, in order to make them explainable by the speaker. So I must offer my thanks, sincere thanks to Sravani madam and to Smriti Rekha. You know, Smriti Rekha is a student in Ravensa University, and she has proved herself as an excellent scholar, excellent student by putting different good questions to the speaker. So thanks so much, Smriti Rekha. Thanks so much, Sravani madam. We hope that you will be in all the webinars in order to put your questions, put your observations, and that is, it will strengthen your the dimension of thought. And with this, I must offer my gratitude to all the senior professors of philosophy who are connected with us, Professor Srivastav, Madam Indra Madam, Professor Chatterjee, and others. I, on behalf of the philosophy family, offer my gratitude for their connectivity, for their cooperation, and for their encouragement to strengthen the regular activities of philosophy family. So with this, once again, I offer my thanks to all the viewers, those are connected with us, and I hope you will be here with us in the next webinar series of Contemporary Indian Philosophy with Pramod Das. Over to Pramod Das for concluding the session.
We are all grateful to you, sir, for your beautiful coordination, moderation, and we solicit your benign presence with us in such auspicious occasions. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Tomorrow, Kalyani madam will coordinate, but you will remain present because tomorrow we shall discuss the philosophy of Jiddu Krishnamurti, which is very interesting, sir. You will try to join, sir. I request you. Thank you. With this, the session is declared closed.